I moved to Mexico, giving you a sneak peek into the lives of Americans and Canadians who live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Hi, thank you for tuning in. I'm Diani Leal, and this series is brought to you by Dyanimite Investment Realty, based out of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We are here today with Chenoa Mason and Marc Holland, originally from LA, who moved to Mexico a couple of years ago and settled in PV just about a year ago. And they are going to tell us their story, which I'm really excited to hear. Hey guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So I know you moved, and it was, essentially an entrepreneurial endeavor. But just to kind of, can you take us, take it from the top and kind of take us through the beginning? Like, what is it? Like, where did you get to that point? You're living your life in LA. Where were you like, let's move abroad, and why here? Why Puerto Vallarta? Why Mexico? No, just one small question.
I came with Marc, so this is Marc's answer.
Well, it started with COVID and life essentially stopping, and 2 years of just nothingness. And I really got into asking myself the question, what do I really want from life? What, at this point, at 63 years old, what do I want out of my life? And I realized the answer was no longer in Los Angeles. The answer was always my dream, to come to Mexico, to start something, to look for an opportunity. And we came down and we traveled all over Mexico. We spent a lot of time in San Miguel de Allende and León, down in Oaxaca. And I had been coming to Puerto Vallarta since I was 20. And we got down here, and we are Pilates enthusiasts, and we had heard about Nuevo Vallarta and how it was upcoming, and we checked it out, and we saw there was a real opportunity for us, to open a business that was a U.S. city-style business, bringing something very San Diego, very Los Angeles, to a market that was underserved, in our opinion. So it was the intersection, if you will, of opportunity and capital.
That's amazing. And I think that's, a really important angle when you think about this move to Mexico, not just, for a different lifestyle, for the quality of life, but also the incredible opportunity in Puerto Vallarta. I mean, we have a city that's in a stage of growth.
Right.
And, and really great choice, by the way, Nuevo Vallarta, because this boulevard where your business is located is just really, there are tons of businesses popping up. It's going to be, extremely active, but right now it's just kind of starting. So it's a really great time to get in on the ground floor of this growth.
There's 1,000 new condos that have just opened up.
Key, are you talking about Key?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. Oh, okay, there's a lot more.
This whole development.
The whole way down.
Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, very cool. So, can you tell us about what your business, it's a Pilates studio, spoiler alert. So why Pilates, and how did you study the market? How did you discover that it was kind of not underrepresented in this area?
Well, first of all, we needed a place to work out. That was the biggest pain point immediately that we were feeling, and as entrepreneurs, like Marc was saying, we see something in the market, you get a bee in your bonnet about it, and you got to do something. And he saw the space and was like, "This is exactly what we can do."
What was it before? Was it?
Well, it was built. It was brand new. So this building's new, and this was all just commercial space. They call it locals here.
100% raw.
Yeah.
So you're the first business to occupy this space.
We completely renovated.
So we completely built this out from a vanilla shell. So we worked with interior designers, architects, and designed this to be like from us to the community.
We had been going to another studio, and it was like a closet. There were 7 beds, and they were old and creaky, and the room was dark, and it wasn't very inviting in room. So we realized there was a major opportunity here.
And it was hard to get beds. It was hard to get a class.
Yeah.
We had to wait almost a month to get our first class.
And
they didn't have openings.
People were saying to us, "Oh, you're never going to be able to do that LA thing here. You're never going to be able to fill 10 beds 4 times in the morning and 4 times at night. There's not enough people. There's not enough people with money." But it's true. When you build it, they will come.
It's so true. Congratulations, by the way, because the studio is flowing with people. I mean, it's packed. There are, a ton of people, and people seem really happy. Like they're enjoying the classes. Like they're very grateful that you brought this to the community, and they're taking full advantage of it.
And when you say community, it's interesting because that was one of our primary objectives, was to start something that would be the very center of a community.
Yeah.
To make friends. We didn't want to just keep traveling from location to location. We wanted to root ourselves.
Yeah.
And you in the pre-interview you had mentioned that sometimes it takes people years to evolve into their dream, and maybe they never get around to doing it. And what we found was the difference between doing it and not doing it was the difference between dreaming and putting it into action. We drove down this road 100 times and there was a for rent sign. Finally, one day we stopped the car, we got out, we said, how much? We found out how much, and that's where the dream begins. And that's really the lesson for any entrepreneur or any retired person who wants to start, anew, is just get out of the car and go ask, how much is the rent?
Ah, that's such a good point. And so, why didn't, when you were deciding to do an entrepreneurial endeavor, why not LA?
I wanted to be out of LA for various reasons. It's very expensive in LA. There's also a lot of competition. You see, in my career, and I've had a varied career, I've been successful when I have a limited number of competitors. I do not enter a crowded niche ever, or a space. We have absolutely no competitors here. We have 98% market share. So our first month, we actually, the market is ours.
Yeah, that is one of the most amazing things about Puerto Vallarta. And there's so many other businesses that haven't even been started yet.
Right.
There's so many gaps in so many areas, and people are just waiting for them to be filled.
Yeah, we have friends, for example, that getting propane in your barbecue is a real problem. You have to drive 20 minutes and stand in the line. In front of ours said, wow, I can have a delivery service and drop off.
Yeah.
It's a third world country still, or a second world country. I don't want to offend anybody up there. But that is also, what people complain about is also an opportunity. And anytime the market is being underserved and people are complaining, an entrepreneur can step in and take care of that need. We have a friend in the water business who's doing alkaline water delivery, low cost. We have different friends that have identified weaknesses and things that people complain about and turned it into successful businesses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the essence of entrepreneurialism, right? Like recognizing a need in the community that already exists and fulfilling that need. And even better if you're the first to fulfill the need.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I feel like by us being entrepreneurial and putting ourselves out there, people are coming to us and approaching us to work with us.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that we have here, like the water Mark mentioned, some of the retail items that we sell are also local artists or local vendors. They're nice. And it's nice to be working with other people that are interested in bringing what they have to the community and to be a part of that together.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the community thing. I mean, and that's one of the best things about living here is there's such a sense of community and people just kind of help each other and people know each other. Like it's a blossoming city, it's a growing city, but it still has a sense of a town. Yeah, which is it's a perfect medium. It really is.
Yeah. Chenoa is used to having a lot of people in her life. Not so much myself, but here I already have a full community. After we're only open a month, I have a full community. Wherever we go, people now know us, and we know people.
Yeah, I see you guys like hi, everybody, and I'm like, wow, you would have think that you've been here for a decade or something.
And that's what happens when you provide something of value to people that may not even known they wanted it or needed it.
Absolutely, yeah. No, people are grateful. You can see the looks on people's faces. They're very happy.
Right down the street, there's a brand new gourmet wine shop, for example.
Yeah.
He'll do fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be there, actually. I didn't know, but I'll swing by.
Well, that's what's also nice is that this area, literally on our plaza and the buildings next to us, new things are opening up.
It's amazing.
It's bringing more people, and we're all helping make the community feel, I don't know the best way to put it, to feel good, to be active,
fulfilling,
to be a part of the current times.
My kids actually go to school a block away from here.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, which school?
It's called Imagine Up.
Yeah, we
we've
pass
heard
it all
of
the
it.
time.
You probably pass it, yeah, every
In
day,
fact,
yeah.
we were going to put 2-for-1s over there for the moms when they drop their kid
You
off.
should, yeah, and the teachers.
Oh,
Yeah, people would be really interested. Yeah, actually, I was, exploring your studio and just thinking, I got to get to the gym. I got to sign up here. I need to get some. I felt very inspired, like, in the holidays, a lot of times people are like, oh, I'll go to the gym in January. But here we are, in the middle of the holiday season, and you're packed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm inspired, and that's why people go, right? They want to be inspired by other people and be in that environment, and so it's
Right.
yeah, it's a great
And
environment.
Pilates is a gentle workout. It's stretching, it's lengthening, it's building from the inside out.
Yeah.
There are some other gyms where people pump iron and whatnot, and that's not what we provide here. So we are creating a nice, peaceful environment of health and well-being.
No, it's excellent. The branding is really tasteful. The music is nice and soothing. Like, you definitely feel that vibe when you walk in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so can you take us through, what kind of classes you offer, what the studio looks like, what is the experience somebody can expect if they're going to come and visit the studio?
So the first word I would put with it is sanctuary. And you want to feel like you're taking a moment of your time for yourself that day, dropping your kids off, you got the family out the door, you're retired and you feel like you need to do something besides watch TV. Like, you want to give yourself some time to yourself, and we want to be that place for you. Yes, we have Pilates. We do the reformer, the beds, but we also have mat Pilates where you don't have a bed but you use a mat, and then yoga and bar.
Ooh.
And the bar is actually been really well received in the market. That was a little surprising for us, and we're very happy about it. And all of our instructors have been lovely and wonderful, and we felt very blessed to get the people we've gotten.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Thank you so much. No, that was one pain point that we were warned about that I have so far feel really good about our staff and how wonderful everyone's been stepping up for us.
And they're used to not feeling overly appreciated. They're used to it.
Right.
We show a lot of gratitude, and we treat them the same way we would treat staff in the United States.
Yeah.
And they're responding very, very, very
nice.
well.
Yeah, because I noticed that people they seem very dedicated and happy to be here and really want to do a good job and
we haven't had an instructor miss a class yet.
Oh, yeah.
And we were warned that was going to be a chronic problem.
Right, and you're like, well, no, because I'm going to rethink how how this is approached. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's amazing. So I have another question. The business side of me needs to know.
Yes.
What is any sort of like scaling in the future for, because the brand is very and like you said, it's Studio Max. I'm assuming Mexico.
Yeah.
The brand is very well done, and it's it's a pretty as you said, the market, there isn't really much like it. There's really nothing like it in PV. And I doubt there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of places in Mexico where there's nothing like it's,
You will see a comparative Pilates culture in Mexico City, which is, it's as modern as any place we've been. Outside of Mexico City, there seems to be a shortage of this type of experience. This idea, this product, the Studio MX is built to scale.
Oh, I totally suspected that. Yeah.
It's
That's
built
cool.
to franchise.
That's awesome. That's great. I think, you have a really great product here. And if you're going to think about, a really ambitious entrepreneurial endeavor, Puerto Vallarta is an incredible place to start.
Yes. I do want to point out one thing. We have Pilates Vallarta, which is the Pilates program here at the Studio MX. And Pilates Vallarta was been in Puerto Vallarta and Marina Vallarta and here for about 12 years. We bought that company.
Oh.
We brought that in.
Oh, wow.
So Pilates Vallarta is at the Studio MX.
Okay.
And when we expand, we will expand as, in some places, Pilates Vallarta, and other places, the Studio MX.
Oh, cool. Wow. Great business mind here. You guys have a really exciting plan, and I'm sure, you're already really successful with this. I'm sure it's just going to continue to be successful.
Thank you.
I am curious too. you said that you explored other areas of Mexico and even Costa Rica. What was it that stood out from Vallarta specifically that made you make that choice?
Can I
Like,
answer
this is
this?
it.
Ryan?
Well, besides accessibility,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, accessibility is
Yeah.
the number one thing.
Yeah.
The highway, being able
Okay.
for people from Guadalajara to be here in 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah,
Major for us.
that's huge. Yeah,
The direct flights to Los Angeles.
yeah,
Being 2.5 hours away from LA is wonderful.
yeah.
There's no denying. I've been coming here 20 years. It started as a small town. You can just feel the explosive growth here.
Yeah, it's true. It's in a
Definitely.
really, PV is going through something right now that's very,
It's exciting.
special and exciting. Yeah, to
Yeah.
be part of it, and I grew up in, major US cities like Philadelphia and, in Boston, and I'm very familiar with like LA, New York, and like in the 90s, you know what I mean? And you see that growth that was happening at that period of time there, and it's just, it's
Does
almost
have
like,
that
yeah, it's
feeling
almost like
there.
going back in
Yeah.
time where you're like, you get to be part of the, in a different period of growth that doesn't really exist in the States anymore in, in big cities. And this is one of the biggest cities in Mexico. It's the second biggest city in Jalisco, so it's just, it's exciting because,
It
just
is.
10 years ago, it was a smaller town, and 20 years ago, it was like a fisherman village.
Exactly.
And,
And
And
I
some
think
of these. No, go ahead.
I think the locals are also appreciating it. They're appreciating the work. They're appreciating the fresh blood in the environment. I think that's been nice to see that they've
Yeah.
been welcoming us.
And especially after the pandemic, I think I was here throughout that whole time. I've been here for about 6.5 years, and we saw what it was like here without tourism, without foreigners, and it was, it was harder. And it was like, it was just nice when the doors were open and tourism was flowing again. And, you could tell that people were very happy. There's a lot more work, of course. And opportunity, and
More
so a lot of people
activity.
ask that, like, well, how does the local community feel about the growth and and foreigners coming in and living here? And my perception and the networks that I'm part of, between being a parent here and where I live, which is in a community in Mezcales, and probably the majority of my network are nationals, Mexican nationals. And so in my interpretation in that, area is that people are, very happy for the opportunity and excited about the growth. And there's no, hostility towards foreigners. I mean, this is 2023, right? We welcome diversity in all places of the world. So, and that's so
seeing that
different in
here.
Mexico. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other thing too, you referenced why did we choose the Bay of Banderas, and we had gone all around Mexico. Real estate is really important. See, not every concept can fit into an older community. For example, the Romantic Zone does not have enough open space for us to bring this concept in
Yes.
easily.
Yeah.
See, Nuevo Vallarta, this is a fresh building, brand new space. We could do what we wanted here.
Yeah, it's perfect. No, it's perfect for this. And, you can see it. You just really pick the right spot. And yeah, and
Yeah.
it's the demographic is here too, to people that are just really happy. And I am inspired and excited. I definitely want to sign up.
I was like, come on
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a really great environment. Congratulations
Thank
again
you.
to you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
So I have a question, before we wrap up, and this is, just kind of something that I ask everybody. So the first one would be, you guys are Americans. You lived in the States your entire lives. You've, only been abroad for a couple of years. What is the thing you miss the most about back home that you really can't get over here?
Toilet paper.
Besides
Good toilet paper doesn't fall apart in your hand.
There is no hesitation there at all. I love that.
Like, besides Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, I mean, it's just friends and family being closer, faster, and what's nice is they come visit us,
Yeah.
and they really have been.
Yeah, that is nice. That is nice. Yeah.
And I'll say not having as many speed bumps or topas as they say.
The roads are a little rocky.
The roads are
It takes
rough.
at least a year to stop complaining about it in the car.
Oh man, yeah, my husband is just like, why is it like this? And it's like it doesn't matter, if you're in romantic zone area or fluvial area, it's cobblestones, and you're
Right.
just like, "Ugh." And then you're out here in Nayarit, and it's potholes, and it's like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, the speed bumps, like they're just everywhere, and you're like,
Everywhere.
okay, I mean. And somebody was saying, well, why don't kids are not obligated legally to be in car seats here? And it's like, well, because you literally can't drive over like 10 miles an hour. It's not even dangerous.
People are in the back of their trucks. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like, whatever. You're just driving really slow because you're forced to. So, it's a safety thing too, the speed bumps. But yeah.
Plus, it's a way of culling the population growth.
It's true. It's true. So what would you say then would be the thing that you miss the least?
Well, your answer probably for sure.
I like that there's no politics down here. That environment doesn't seem to exist. And I'm enjoying that. It got a little heavy there for a while in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not missing a lot. I feel very satisfied down here.
All right. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about the politic thing. I mean, it's very divisive in the U.S. and the people in Canada say the same thing who came from there. And it's just, I understand that no matter what country you're in, people are going to have opinions about the politics. And, and we're in Mexico, we're foreigners, so we're less involved. And of course, nationals will have stronger feelings about the Mexican politics. Like, you can't escape it completely, but at the same time, it's just less of a focal point in conversations here, whether it's Spanish or English or foreigners. It's so much, and if you stop like looking at it, it makes it smaller, right? And there it's like, you just can't get away. I mean, everywhere you go, it's overwhelming.
I mean, it's almost counterintuitive. People don't come here to bring the problems that they had back in the States here.
Exactly.
They come here to start anew.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to then put it aside and find yourself in a conversation, a pleasant conversation with someone who might have opposite viewpoints.
Yeah.
But you're down here and you've given it up, so it doesn't matter the same way.
Yeah.
Not looking to cut people out. Like in Los Angeles, I was looking to get rid of anybody that didn't share similar viewpoints. Here, I don't even think that way. It doesn't enter my mind.
Yeah. Oh, get rid of, I know, cutting people off.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. I say missing the least would be I had it actually, and then was listening to you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm quite satisfied. It's just the inflation. That's actually what it was. Every time I've gone back, I'm shocked at how the prices have increased at the level and how rapidly it has increased.
Oh God.
And I feel like we have left at the right time.
Yeah.
To not have that be so in our face. That way when I go back to LA or the States, it's just, okay, it's like when you're on holiday and you spend a little extra anyway.
But it's not your life.
Right. Inflation hasn't hit. Inflation has hit here. We
do
feel it.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been a much bigger impact if we would have been staying.
I mean, life is super affordable down here.
It is.
I will go out to dinner and we're like 400 pesos for this big meal. And you realize, oh my God, it's $25 for like what you'd pay $100 for.
Exactly. No, it really is. Yeah. And that adds to your quality of life. I mean, every time I go back, I've been out of the US for a while now. But the sticker shock is real.
It's real.
Oh my God.
It's real.
The sticker shock.
Yeah.
Is like
it's very real.
Yeah. You're just like, and then you're just like, oh gosh, for this, I have like 3 things. Yeah.
We're used to cities where prices are more expensive.
Yeah.
So
but here the rent is affordable.
Surprising.
Purchasing is affordable. Problem is with purchasing, you have to come up with all cash.
Yeah.
Because we're past, within 50 kilometers of the coast.
Yeah.
So everything's on a trust. But the food is affordable. The vehicles are even affordable. Bought basically a new truck for $20,000 US, which easily would have been 40-something thousand back home. Life is more affordable.
Yeah, and going out, I think, is a big one, because in the States you're just like, I'm never going to go out unless I want to spend like $500 or $1,000 or something. And here you're like, I literally spent $50 on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I'm not sure we could have pulled this off in LA or New York on a
yeah.
budget that, the studio, yeah, on a budget that we had access to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's hard, and there's more red tape,
Yep.
Yeah.
And there is. I mean, that was one thing I had actually wanted to mention earlier when we were earlier on in the interview, was that there were a lot of little details. Like, yes, getting out of the truck and going and asking how much rent is the first step.
Yeah.
But you've got to be tenacious. You've got to be able to find people that are going to help you, that are local and have access to answers for you. We do personally have a bit of a language barrier. I do more than Mark. Mark is much better at the Spanish. But we had to find people locally to help us make this happen.
Yeah.
So they're invested in it too,
Yeah.
which helps. But it was something that, like, you can't be scared to ask people for help. You can't be scared to look to locals for your needs.
And how are
and
you?
They feel good in participating.
Yeah, definitely. And how's your guys' Spanish?
A's is good. I've only been studying 8 years, so I'm very remedial.
But you also have to have an emotional intelligence here.
It's so true.
You cannot get angry at them for not being the way you would expect someone to be.
Exactly. And you see that a lot at government offices,
Right.
because there's so much bureaucracy.
Right.
And you see, like, gringos,
Getting
they're
mad.
like
It's not-
screaming at these people just doing their jobs, because they're like, why do I need so many documents? And it's like, it's just the way things are done. You really just
Exactly.
have to accept it,
The expediters here, that's a great job.
Yeah.
They're like, and we
Yeah, you make a lot of
worth it
money.
They
to
make
yeah.
good
use
money.
them.
Maybe-
It's worth it to use them.
It is, yeah. Just have somebody do it for you. Exactly. So you're not, but yeah, I think that's a really good point, is just accepting the way things are done. And, I've been here for a while, and I don't even expect things like the States necessarily. I don't even know how things are done there anymore. But I still at times have to kind of rethink, like, my reactions to things, because I'm like, why is it like that? And then I'm like, okay, no, that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And that's how they are, and that's the pace. And, managing employees is different here than managing them
Yeah.
there. Managing contractors is different. Expectations, managing your own expectations
Yeah.
is very important down here.
Yeah.
Not to expect too much, not to think that today, because mañana doesn't mean tomorrow, it means,
Just
Someday.
another time.
Yeah, that's what somebody
Some
said.
point.
It just means not today.
and I think that the patience is part of what you get to develop down here.
Yeah.
Really, patience is a
Oh,
virtue.
it's huge. I actually am not the most patient person in the world, and I have to constantly, and I have small children too, so that also tries on my patience. But it's really just something you have to be like, okay,
It's the
Yeah.
practice.
I
It's
mean,
a
the most
practice.
traffic I deal with here is being fourth in line at a ceviche truck, and I like that.
And they know him now, so they let him cut even.
Where do you guys live? You live here in Nuevo?
Yeah.
Very close.
2 minutes
cool.
away, we live on the river.
Oh, that's the life.
It's
Yeah, you
lovely.
just stroll
Nice.
over here, and
Yeah.
you guys are living
Absolutely.
the dream.
Beautiful compound, and
Yeah.
it's totally lovely.
No, these are really helpful tips for, I think, like, anybody back home who is, actually considering making this move, and is like, what do I, and I think it's really helpful to hear from people like yourselves, like, it's achievable. And like you said, just get out of the car, and see what's going on, and, just like to see, just think about the steps that it would require.
Right.
And, there's so much opportunity to start businesses and other things, which I think is an amazing point.
Yeah, what do you love? What are you really good at? What are you passionate about?
Yeah.
Do you really want it, or do you think you want it? Is it
Yeah.
a dream, or is it something you're willing to get out of the car and walk up, knock on the door, and say, how much is the rent?
Yeah.
That's where it really begins.
Absolutely. So what would you say to people who want to, like, learn more about the studio? Like, and we'll obviously put information in the bio, and, and the description of the video. But, do you have anything else that any other way that people can learn more that you want to talk
The
about?
website, Instagram,
What is the website?
thestudiomx.com.
That's a great domain.
TheStudioMX.com.
And the Instagram is thestudiomx_.
Okay.
And Facebook is thestudiomx and the number 1.
Perfect.
We'll have all this up for
Yeah.
you guys.
And
And
then
we'll
also,
put it all,
you
yeah.
can find us under the name Pilates Vallarta.
Okay.
When we're the same places,
Your alias.
That's our alias.
Okay.
Cool. And then is there anything else you want to tell people before we wrap up?
Don't be afraid to make a big change. If you build it, they will come.
All right, that is so great and so inspirational. And thank you guys for coming.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet for more videos.